Okay, we are now recording.
Thank you. Not Craig.
Right.
I do miss Craig. Listeners, today is October 27th, 2020. We're in stormy waters. 2 out of 3 of us don't have headphones. There's background noise. It's a little chilly out. It's dark outside. We're not wearing sunglasses. This is Pirates Paradise. And we have a special guest. Oh, my bad.
Hello.
This
Kellen's
is
very good at it.
a lovely intro man. While I'm not at this time technically competent enough to put the intro with the music at the beginning of our show, be noted, it will be in the edit.
I'll say, if we have, let's say we have like 25 total podcasts, the intro is surely the best part of like 22 of them.
At least.
Oh man, high praise. I think you are definitely downplaying your ability to establish sufficient banter, though. I mean, I know that's why I watch the pod. But yeah, I mean, what's up? What's up?
No.
Quite fun.
That's good.
Oh, we all got bevies? We all got bevies, or are we two bevy boys?
I do.
One bevy
Yeah.
I got
I gotta have fluids in me.
Hold on.
About how my uncle thinks bottled water is a scam, and he's not like entirely wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't like medical complaints, but he does think that people who buy bottled water are like straight dumb.
It is, and surely it is. It is the same water. It is like, well, plus or minus, like I guess, like a couple particulates,
depending on your locality. Oh no. Okay, you froze for.
No. Hold on. Let me. There we go. But
So, should I tell you about my weekend?
Oh, absolutely. Quar is disconnected momentarily.
Oh man. He's phased out into the shadow realm. That's unfortunate.
That African Iron Age thing that
we Sorry,
you cut out for like
Okay.
All we heard was you finishing that statement.
Heard. Oh yeah, but I could give a, as far as like, because my understanding, Kellen, is that you've got like, we're gonna spend a lot of time talking about things that are like roughly U-centric, because I have anyone else I could talk about. Like, I came up with like a real hot take about race the other day because I saw an Instagram post that made me mad, and then I also have interesting information about the Iron Age in specific places in Africa, in that some places in Africa had iron first, as in like concurrently with bronze, as in directly after stone. And I don't know all of the places, but one example is Ethiopia in the 8th century BCE. They just got iron and bronze tools like concurrently.
Does that have to do with geography, or did they just have the technology to do it first, or like?
I imagine it definitely is. I imagine it definitely is some to do with geography, in that I imagine if you're near to like I guess I don't know, like Indo-European / like Fertile Crescent civilizations, and they had brass, they had bronze, and you might be able to trade with them just because of that proximity, especially to like the western coast, like under the overhang of the African continent. But some of them seem to have had the technology, which is wild, because think about it, right? It's the 8th century. You're not collecting berries. You're not sleeping with anybody. You're not stabbing any animals. You're like, you know what? I'm going to spend several weeks making charcoal in my pit. And then I'm going to spend even more weeks collecting these weird rocks. And then I'm going to spend a while grinding them into a powder, and I'm going to erect a tower of specific dimensions and burn them until I have another rock. And somehow this will profit in the end. And that's just such a... Humans are definitely like animals that are really good at copying behavioral patterns attached to a metaphysical soul capable of creating new behavioral patterns over time. I said this to John yesterday, but sometimes I'll be like, at a door, and I can't help but lock it even if I don't need it to be locked. And I think that's like the animal in me being like, no, we lock doors, right? And I'm like, no, not right now. The pattern's more complex than that. But yeah.
I forgot to lock my sliding doors, so anybody could have come in my room during the night. Because I have sliding doors to the outside, which is great. So I mean, yeah, I do agree.
The old domicile, or is this live from the new spot?
This is the new crib.
So ideally,
quite nice.
Would have come in during the night.
I could give a tour. So that's my shitty room. The woods. The door that's still unlocked. And then so there's this shit. So it's like this nice living room with the kitchen combined, and then there is another room and there's a utility room. I don't know where my cats are. Generally they're in here. They're not currently. And that's it. That's the house. It's pretty fucking nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pretty happy with it. Like
that's really tight, man.
It's easy to take care of, and it's very cozy. And there's woods outside.
Yeah.
So yeah, good shit. But so this weekend I was browsing Instagram, and I was scrolling through my feed, and I found an account for a band that I haven't heard of for like a while. They put an EP out in 2009, and it has since become something of a classic, definitely within a certain niche. You both know I'm all about certain niches. So I hit them up because I'm like looking at their new posts and they're teasing new material. So I'm really fucking hyped. You know, already planning on copying a tape when it comes out. Talking to this dude who's running the account, like, you know, you guys are a huge influence for me at Heretic. And they said something along the lines of, we want to try and get as many people to write for this new EP as possible, which I later found out I am the only person left out of the original lineup. There's nobody left, and I'm trying to get this project started up again purely off of the hype that the cult status of my defunct band reuniting carries. And so this dude that I was talking to on the Instagram was just fronting so hard the entire time, and I didn't realize until a couple days later I asked, so by the way, like, how many people are left? Oh, just you, the vocalist, which I currently have more ability than, and you're like 30 now.
No.
So it's like, it was just so bad. It was so bad in retrospect, because all of the posts were like, we, our EP, like, goddamn. So I hooked them, but, you know, before I knew that, I hooked them up with my guitarist. We wrote like a demo, sent it to them. They dug it a lot. They said, we want you on the project full time. A couple of days later, I asked him, find out it's just him. And so I'm like, oh, okay. In that case, this is basically our band now.
Yeah.
This dude, we can do whatever the fuck we want to do. The thing about it is that this fucking, oh my God, it was just so annoying. He used ellipses like a fucking 70-year-old mom. Like, I don't know, it was so bad. It was so bad. Used the wrong yours as well. Oh. He gave me a very weak Y-O-U-R in the band.
There's one correct way to spell your, and it's Y-A-R, yar.
Yeah, yar. Speaking. Oh, Kellen, just to make sure our listeners know, can you tell us more? Just like real quick, cover Goodbye Heretic, the band Yard.
Well, I think I'll get to that. I'm nearly done.
Please do.
Basically, this dude like was really fucking stubborn, and I get it. Like, it's your project and you want to bring it back, but when it's all new blood, you have to relinquish some of the creative process over. Like, you can't have complete creative control when you're barely contributed anything. Other than the name. And so I was like, all right, we want to be credited as featuring members of Goodbye Heretic. I personally want to have vocal features on no less than half the EP. Don't even care what songs, doesn't even matter how long. I just am not trying to be an afterthought on something that I fucking co-wrote. And this dude starts getting pissy, like, oh, well, I'm financing tapes, I'm financing T-shirts, I'm paying for studio time, £400. It's not cheap. One, why are you booking an hour of studio time for a song that's 50 seconds long? You're a fucking dumbass. The EP is going to be like under 10 minutes when it is finished. Yeah. Just buy a decent mic for like a fifth of that cost and learn how to use Audacity. Like
King Giz records stuff on their phone. Did you know that?
I can't say I did. I've done that for all of my projects thus far.
It's the move. Just get a good audio input captured.
For sure. And then, but two, I could not care any fucking less about what you're financing because you didn't tell us. You have not been upfront about anything since the beginning. I'm only now asking about logistics because this whole thing is very, very sus.
Oh no, it's super sus.
So I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck you. Why don't we compromise? I said, I'll go 50-50 on the tapes and the tees. Studio time, I don't give a fuck about. That's your problem. You're dumb.
Yeah. Like figure out your time.
And so I follow up with like, so what is your plan for the merch drop? And he can't even give me a straight answer.
So it's super. Yeah. Oh yeah, say what you're gonna say, John.
It's beneficial to know that we got a guy for that.
And so like, I was done. Like I didn't want to be fucking dealing with this fucking whiny ass millennial.
Oh, definitely not. No, because he's upset because he doesn't have a group anymore.
He typed like a boomer. It was fucking bizarre. And so I had to block him because he kept DMing me like, come back. Why did you leave me? And I guess my guitarist didn't block him fast enough because he somehow got his email and was emailing him yesterday.
Oh no!
Was emailing him, please come back.
Oh my gosh, those are things. Those are the things you say when you drove away your own band via incompetence.
Those are the things you say when you thought you had it in the bag, and now you realize, oh, I'm a dickhead. I need to find new people to write my EP that I already said is coming out.
Wait. Which
is what you don't do when it's not written.
It's like, oh no, I'm not bringing anything to the table.
Can you even can you even still do the panic shrieks that you were able to do 11 years ago? Is my question. How have those vocal cords aged?
Take his band, take his whole band, and then do panic shrieks. Get him back to music by teaching him an object lesson.
No, it's great. We're taking the one song we did write, Posthuma and Long Way Down, both very good bands.
Oh, hell yeah.
But it's funny. We're probably going to use some of that debacle for lyrics. I was thinking perhaps. Well, I won't say what we were thinking the title because I don't want to out this guy. I think he deserves to be bad in peace.
That's true. Everyone does.
But yeah, no. Goodbye Heretic. We're doing a split. That's the upcoming project. I can't really give a date as to when it will be done. Probably within the coming months. It's dependent on. I have a mic. I've invested in a mic. It's the first major decision. I guess I had to make in terms of equipment. But that should be coming soon. Workshopping instrumentals, so I'm very hyped. We're going to do a cover. The format is each band does 2 songs. One is an original, one is a cover. And I'm not going to say what the cover is, but it's definitely a cover of a song that, like, let me tell you something about metal publications. Like Metal News is terrible. It's boring as fuck. It's the same fucking shit. It's like 30-year-olds catering to teenagers and old men. Writing about like bands that haven't been relevant for like 20 years. So every time there's like a Deftones cover, for example, some dude is gonna write an article about it just because he has nothing else to write about that's interesting. So if we blow up, I don't know. It might happen. We might suddenly have an influx of like people that listen to bad music.
Sure. And
but I digress. Yeah.
Oh, I do think that. Oh, one real quick. If you haven't heard it, definitely listen to what's the Goodbye Here called again?
Oh yeah, No Fear, No Disgust.
No Fear, No Disgust is really tight.
It's the yeah, I got the it's I don't know if either of you noticed, but the cover is Sasha Grey.
it's only a chuckle because when you're like, I should have known.
Hey, listen, there's really vocals out here without better with the deep throat than her.
Oh man, I don't know how to send you the image, but basically, I don't remember how. I don't think I was browsing 9gag, but the image I found has a 9gag watermark, which is concerning because I know I've never been on 9gag once in my life.
I don't think Sasha 9gags.
But someone did. Someone took a picture of Sasha Grey like after a gangbang or something, and made an AI analyze her facial features, and it was like 0.00001 disgust, 0.00000 fear, like 0.000135 happiness or some shit. Like the most neutral face.
That's gnarly. But definitely peep No Fear, No Disgust if you're looking for some good heavy. I believe it falls into the scene grind category.
It definitely goes into the heavy category. And actually, I don't know if you guys had any other topics, but actually, so ever since John made me realize that Suicide Boys has spent their entire career ripping off Tommy Wright III, I've been, well, I mean, not ripping off so much as just kind of, I mean that in an endearing way.
Some of his instrumentals, they do a lot of sampling just because they were like, this is all the music we listen to. He never really blew the fuck up enough to tour and never really put the effort into touring, but will like give his career some like posthumous clout. And now it's like bigger than it's probably ever been. So,
yeah, for sure. And I was thinking about that because within the context of like metal and hardcore, specific era that I love the most is like roughly 97 to like 2006, 2007, 8. And that sort of era, I guess you could put, I don't know, you could ill-defined, I would say it's the MySpace era, has been experiencing a significant revival ever since 2017. Bands cropping up all over. I would say Goodbye Heretic is an element of this revival. Just to sort of put it more into context so you guys understand.
Sure.
And I think that I was just looking at music in terms of like, I mean, the genealogy of music today is very well defined, but like rap has only been around since the 70s, etc. So like the evolution of music has been very quick. I think it's getting to a point where like there's not a whole lot left to do in terms of advancement, in terms of evolution. You know, like with frequencies and tonality. So like microtonality is a gimmick that some artists do. Like King Giz had a microtonal album just for the fuck of it. And like,
do you know which one that is? Off the top of your head?
I think it's Microtonal Flying Banana. Pretty sure.
Yeah,
okay,
it's in the name.
Oh yeah,
it is in the name. Yeah. There's also like this electronic artist I listen to called Sevish, and it's like the thing about microtonality is that it is an interesting display of I don't, because and I was thinking about this also. It's like the only other ways you're going to be making new genres that isn't just fucking around with like the sound itself rather than how it's composed and when composed with is like arbitrary rules to just make like something bizarre. And I don't really think that's pretty much like I don't even think that that's even that innovative. So
I was gonna say you can make new instruments, maybe like
you could make new instruments.
I've seen like a couple interesting sound making phenomena that I was like, you definitely turn this into like a thing that you can deterministically make vibes on. But
I was speaking of which, I think Suicide Boys sampled like either a dishwasher or the sound of a bowl.
That's where
good.
You know, like the tweet, like phone ringing sound. It's just a dishwasher. Man, I think it's like all through. I no longer share the razor guard.
But yeah, and so I was thinking like sort of on a grander scale, like I think once music gets to a certain point, like I would say by like 2000, like the majority of the genres that we would talk about today, if we were like categorizing and going through like the systematization of music over the last few decades, pretty much everything was made by 2000 that wasn't just going to be another fusion genre of some other shit or influenced by some other shit, which I mean, every genre is influenced by something else at this point, even early on. That's how, evolution happens. But, and so I think a trend is like the revival of scene stuff. When's the revival of Memphis rap gonna happen? Because I guess it kind of happened in like 2014 with A$AP Rocky. But I mean, like I think a lot of the rappers from that time period are at least subliminally influenced by Memphis rap stuff. I would say like I don't know if you guys have ever listened to Lil Ugly Mane.
Oh yeah, I do enjoy Lil Ugly Mane.
Who?
I may have heard him, but
John, you would really
basically,
I bet I would.
You would like Lil Ugly Mane, especially because he gets really fucking grimy and is not afraid to be funny as fuck.
Because I may have heard of this.
Oh, it's funny because he's a white dude, but he has a black voice.
This is true, actually. I did not know that he was white, and I did assume that he was black as a black man. So, I fully
and like
Skinny Pimp, by the way, because that's my recent discovery. Kingpin, Skinny Pimp.
Ooh. Oh, fuck yeah! I was actually listening to some of that. So like kind of hand in hand. Like I was talking to this dude, two of my friends back, Mark. And like at least within scene stuff lately, there have been labels like Wax Vessel, for example. There have been labels popping up, not even labels, but more so just like small companies popping up that are entirely dedicated to repressings and merch runs of old bands.
Whoa!
And which is sick as fuck because it's giving those bands sources of revenue like later on in their careers that they probably weren't even expecting. It's making them relevant again. It's upping their popularity, which is great. All great things. And it's like, in terms of Memphis rap, there's like a couple blogs, and there have been repressings, which blogs are pretty sick in their own right. Like somebody that has enough time and dedication to run a blog and just talk about music and shit. But like there have been repressings and stuff, but it's mainly from the artists themselves. So it's like, dude, I'm waiting for the new wave. I'm waiting for the new wave of Memphis.
Fair enough.
Memphis trap, is that the next evolution?
I think
it might be.
Or does trap just have influence from Memphis rap? Because I think that is the case.
I think like I forget, like the more like leaned out, like chopped and screwed stuff comes from like Houston. And like the Texas scene. But
I was gonna say, what is the specific?
Memphis is like sell crack, shoot guns, talk about.
It's gnarly. It's
and in Suicide Boy's case, I sold crack, but I never smoked it.
There, something that I was going to throw in real quick is because I do think that that's a fair point, especially considering that we've kind of spiraled into like musical production is so simple nowadays that I think the lifespan of a given musical concept is much shorter, as in like they reproduce and evolve much more quickly. Like I'd say we'd have had more musical generations in the last like couple decades, let's say, like within that model than ever.
For sure.
And I wonder how much of that is. I wonder how much of that is related to my thought process is, okay, it's really hard to turn over classical music because writing classical music is a lot of work and the instruments require a lot of technicality to perform the songs well, right? But over time, we get like simpler, less complex. And we also get like, like artificial instruments in terms of like synthesizers. And
I would say all of it is because of technology. And because of the internet, because from the 90s 2000s there was a shift from analog synths to just digital synths. Like I don't know if either of you have listened to Aphex Twin. I think I'm sure John Aphex Twin, but even like Aphex Twin aside, like the trap beats from the 90s, were made on analog synths, which is like some motherfucker like spending a ton of time like twisting knobs and shit, as opposed to being able to just drag something on a screen. So there's definitely like a skill level that was required, and I think that's sort of that's one of the reasons why there's such an oversaturation of really anything these days, is because of the ease of access to good enough equipment.
To what extent do you think the diversity / availability of production software has changed this as well? Because a huge, I guess, definitely. We have spoken off the podcast about like how large an aspect of, I guess, upcoming like punk and metal was the unfinished countercultural aspect.
Yeah, I don't think you need a producer anymore. Like you just don't. Like I said earlier, I mean, learn Audacity.
That might be.
If you're doing I mean, it's always good to have a producer, but I think that you can make really good stuff without having to pay a lot of money these days. I think that's the biggest difference.
Fair. Which, yeah. Oh,
like everybody can pirate FL Studio. You still have to learn how it works.
Yeah.
And that is the ceiling.
This is true.
My whole thing that I've been on recently is that there's like plenty of good free digital audio workspaces out there. Like the one I really enjoy is just called BandLab. Free promo.
There we go.
Yeah. I've been following Bill Clinton a lot. So. He's one of the only people to really blow up on that platform. But also one of my favorite new discoveries, or not really new, but there's just this cat on there who I forget what his name is. Let me see. Let me pull it up here.
What's the dude from Nigeria?
Yeah, that guy.
Yes.
City boy. Every day smoke shisha. Every day from hookah. It's really good. I like it a lot.
Oh, good.
See, that music wouldn't exist if we were not in the digital age.
Exactly.
This is true.
Exactly. What's better than being a child soldier or fighting SARS, making your own?
You gotta make those good bubble wraps.
Civil unrest.
I believe this isn't exactly right. It's something a Little Ugly Mane says in one of his songs, but I say all the time. I don't know why. It's not even my favorite song of his, but it's in the song is titled "Lean Got Me Fucked Up," and the lyric is "I'm leaning codeine demon." I think about that once every 30 minutes because things stick in my head.
I forget which song it is, and I honestly forget even which lyric. I just need to listen to this album again. John, you should listen to Mr. Thug Isolation. This dude just gets so fucking nasty on some of these tracks. Like, I don't know if either of you have ever listened to DJ Quick.
Mystic Fuck Isolation or Mystic Fuck Isolation? I didn't hear
Mr. Thug Isolation.
That's what I got. Wait, John, what did you say?
But he's definitely Mr. Fuck.
Mr. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Fuck never missed a fuck.
I got Mystic Fuck Isolation or something, but I got it. Found it.
Oh, he is. Yeah, Denzel Curry's on it as well.
Oh yeah. Oh, I was going to say the Mystic Fuck Isolation is what it's called when you put Charles Manson in prison. That's my bit. That's my one.
Exactly.
He wasn't even like
oh man.
I have a lot of music. I'm really happy about this.
Yeah, I mean, as you both know, I have.
Collab? I may have heard him on a Suicide Boys track if he's done that.
Could be. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know who he's collabed with. Like I was saying though, like Mr. Thug Isolation has Denzel on it, which makes a lot of sense considering that like Denzel fucks with Tommy Wright III.
Did you see Denzel react to 100 Gex?
I did not.
Oh, he was just
the one where it's with JPEG Mafia?
This is not music.
That's, man, I would say if that weren't for sure like 3 other people's content, that's almost worth a screen share.
It was no, it was a meme. Like, it was originally him reacting to JPEG's song.
Oh.
But they edited it out so you can add anything you want. So we could put the Pirates theme.
We should and must.
I'll get on it.
Is it that one?
That's our promo
I
for
think
this
it's at the end of.
episode, isn't
Oh, my bad, John.
Oh no. That's our promo
Oh.
material for this episode.
I think it's at the end of. I think it's at the end of Curb Stomp, where I forget who's on the sample. He's like, oh my god, that shit was so hard. I gotta take these headphones off. I didn't even want to listen to this again. It's like
man.
Yeah.
Speaking of, it's October 27th. Only, well, I guess like 2-ish months till Christmas.
This is true.
But it's getting closer and closer to the time of the year that I can start bumping the police blow my wad. Police blow my wad. Fucking, have you ever heard the Afro Man Christmas album, Quar?
I really haven't.
It's the best shit I've ever fucking heard. It's like Deck My Balls. The 12 J's of Xmas.
12 J's of Xmas.
I wish you would roll a new blunt. It's great. Oh, Chronic Tree. Very good. I appreciate Afro Man a lot.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be bumped during the holiday season. Today is also coincidentally.
His song about Frosty. He's like,
oh yeah,
like you fuck it, it gets so hot and sticky that the snowman melts. Something.
It's like he can't fuck because the pussy too hot. He's gonna melt or some shit. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. Oh. These are the musings of one Afro man. Today is also coincidentally a month and like I guess one day depending on how you slice it for my birthday.
Oh nice, happy birthday.
Thank you.
So when is that?
It's the 27th. But November. I'll be 21, which is
nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'll be able to
you can finally buy nicotine.
That's for years. I've been I don't know what I'm gonna do without it, Kellen. I don't even know.
Corey, you should be paid by a tobacco representative for getting me hooked to nicotine. Because he got me into it with a bit, and I've just been on that bit ever since. I've been trying to taste the flavor.
No, oh my gosh! You see, we have such an interesting, I guess, like co-habitual nicotine relationship because I think, like, I started vaping first, with the flavors bit, and then you took the nicotine way up on me, and then I took the nicotine way up to counteract, just to stay in the game. And then.
And then you have me, who smoked cigarettes for like 10 years and didn't inhale. Yeah, I was on like a DXM bender, and I was hanging out with John, and we were just sitting on like the lawn across from where the GNC is in State College. And I was hitting his vape, and I like accidentally inhaled and started choking. And I was like, "Oh fuck, man, I inhaled." And he was like, "What are you talking about? What do you mean you accidentally inhaled?" I was like, "What do you mean you inhale?" And I inhaled and got like the biggest head rush I've ever had.
Oh yeah,
because it was the first time nicotine hit my system in mass ever. I almost fell down.
Oh yeah, dude! The second time that I hit John's store at Jewel, it was outside of Panera after Bread Batch, and I had to lay down on the sidewalk.
Oh man!
I walked into a vape shop and I'm like, "What's the fucking strongest poison you got?"
Oh, that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did. I explained. You see, I got a friend who has a higher tolerance for nicotine than me, and I gotta one up him, but I don't have a nicotine tolerance. And he was like, "Here in the Breeze 2, you can use Salt Nick and and Freebase Nick, I guess." And I was like, "Hell yeah, this will allow me to acolyte myself properly." It was purely a primate dominance act. That is purely. But I only paused because I felt like I was going to say something.
There's a garbage truck outside my window and it's beeping real loud, but it's kind of nice.
That's some ambiance.
Ooh, yeah. I think I muted myself for a hot second during, I believe my garbage has been taken? Question mark? There's definitely someone cutting down a tree, but for sure, well, not for sure.
You did reiterate the thing that you cut out for when you were talking about iron in Africa, right?
Oh, yes, I
Rather,
did.
they just had access to it way earlier. They also had the technology, which is wild.
Well, just the idea that because I'm sorry what you're gonna say.
Well, I mean, I would almost say that like I don't give early humans enough credit, but I think it's just because I don't think about it often enough. Because early humans deserve all the credit because they did everything. Yeah. Because early humans is everybody before me.
Yeah. But I believe for like the thing that's really mind blowing about them having iron first is that it's just like producing iron, like bloom iron, is much more technically complicated than producing bronze. And bronze sucks because you have to have copper and tin in the same place, but you can melt copper and tin both at relatively low points. You still need like blowpipes, and you might have like 6 people on blowpipes for one fire to produce like this much bronze, but that's still way less work. You would essentially, one, blowpipes don't give you enough airflow to like make bloom, to make your like bloom furnace, like your big tower, as hot as it needs to be. You need more charcoal, and you actually need high quantities of charcoal, not to keep both to keep the fire hot and actually to facilitate the chemical reaction. Because typically you're working with some kind of like iron oxide, and like let's say it's something relatively high in iron, like magnetite, right? And so essentially you're heating everything up, and you're pulling the oxygen off of the iron, and it wants to when you burn your charcoal, like I guess you're releasing like carbon monoxide, and that wants to the oxygen from the iron, because carbon dioxide is more stable than carbon monoxide, and that's in a large part how you're, I guess, purifying your thing. And then hopefully that just like as it heats, it like mushes down, well, not mushes, but like sort of flows down into a big old ball that you can just knock out of the bottom of your thing, and then from there process into like pig iron, I guess. But a wrought iron, I should say. But it's really mind blowing, because even if even if you didn't, just doing that from stone tools as opposed to doing anything else is so resource costly.
It's just the process of figuring out that process and not like knowing the science behind it. It's like time to make the fucking shiny rocks, bro.
Exactly. And like, how many times do you spend 3 weeks grinding the wrong sort of rock?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, just dirt fell out of my tower again. Better go back to it.
I think that there was some aspect of it, because like we've been talking recurrently about the fire underneath Pennsylvania or whatever. Do you think that like somebody just hit a coal pocket with like a flame or like a forest fire, and they were like, oh, this is like a cool rock?
Maybe. I would say that I don't know what the precedent for veins of iron existing in nature is. I don't think it's very high, because the Earth is mostly iron, and I think most of it's wrapped up in compounds. But I think that like magnetite, for example, like you can find natural magnets, like they're called lodestones, right? And so if you're like, this rock has weird properties, I can pick up other rocks. These rocks all seem to have weird properties. Maybe you think, oof, good stuff happens when you burn stuff. Fire's transformative. Like fire is roughly the transformative magic substance, and you're like, yeah, maybe I get something good out of this. Maybe God likes these rocks or something. But
I think that's interesting as like a basis for like gold currency or something, or I guess just shiny objects in general. Yeah.
Well, that, and also like just because gold is so non-reactive, it comes out of the earth just in veins. Like you can see it really easily, especially before people started seeing it, when there was a bunch of it.
Finding gold for the first time, you're the first guy.
Oh yeah, like you've only seen rocks and mud, and you're like, hold on. Oh, for sure, I would start trading it. Yeah, how many people I would kill for something shiny if I'd never seen anything shiny before? Not right now. I'm talking thousands of years ago. The answer is hundreds.
Imagine in like 80 to 100,000 years, people are going to be making J-raps out of this.
I'll just be inhaling the foil. But
on their burgers and shit.
Actually, you guys want to see? Have I shown you guys the lead foil that I made the other day?
I don't believe so.
I have not seen it.
We can do a little show now.
Oh, right. Actually, for me.
So, let's bring this light closer. I'm waiting until
this is the symbol I was talking about, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah.
The tin can.
No, truly. It's less acoustically valuable.
Yeah.
So, this is like the roll that it's on. And it's just, oh
shit.
It's just, so it's about, it's less than like a 32nd of an inch thick. I'd say I'm operating on, I don't know what gauge that is because I don't know gauges all like that. But, so this is like the little tippy of it. Like it's really, I've gotten it to a really good thickness. And also I can roll it around this little piece of wood. I intended to use this for radiation shielding, but radioisotopes worth buying are too expensive to buy, and also cancer. So yeah, I'll be right back. I'm gonna wash my hands.
Oh, did he tell you how he was like, man, I should buy some fucking radioactive material, but I don't want to get cancer?
Yeah. And I was just like, dude, do you want to be the one dude? Because being a scientist and being a meth head look very similar. Like you know the dude who built the nuclear reactor in his backyard in a barn. He had pock marks all over his face and open sores. And also there's a thing with meth heads where they if you ever see a homeless person with a disassembled bike, it's probably meth. Because they just want to taste the flavor. They just want to figure out how it works. And so, in reality, we're kind of smashed it where they're like, oh no, alcoholics, drug addicts look exactly like scientists, because the scientists are just like, I just need to alter my perception so I can get a full picture of what's going on right now.
Yeah.
I actually, though the radioisotope thing is super duper expensive, I was thinking, well, I looked it up, and actually still liquid CO2 is at least more, slightly over twice as dense as lead acid batteries, which is still pretty sick. The I'm not really going to get into it, but I figured out something really important for the EXO I didn't figure out from first principles, but I figured out how to turn into a good free body diagram, which is tight. So that'll be a thing that people interact with soon.
Oh, we were talking about cybernetics and the feasibility of cybernetics in the near future. What about and this kind of dates back to when you were first telling me about transhumanism. How long before I can get an organ transplant of meat that was grown in a lab or some shit?
That's a good question. That's a good question. I would say,
will I ever be able to get another arm stitched onto
another arm? Cybernetically, probably. I mean, from once we have high level, because Elon Musk is working on what is essentially a very high res brain computer interface, is my understanding. I haven't really followed it because I'm not interested in Neuralink personally. I just think it's weird technology. I don't trust Elon like that. But we have when I say pretty good technology, I mean we understand that we can grow cells, we can grow useful biological cells on artificial scaffolds. And sometimes that's easier to do than others. Something that they do is, if you take an apple, right? There's this process called decellularization where you can take a living cellular matrix and just remove all the living material in it, and you get the just the inorganic but non-living stuff, right? So you can take an apple and you can wash all the apple plant matter biological away from it, and essentially you're left with a cellulose apple looking thing. And I've seen I don't know if they've been used for transplants, but I've seen those carved into ears, and you can grow cartilage over that, the cartilage, skin, etc. Using that scaffold to produce a new ear. And that gets more difficult as your organs increase in complexity, because tissues are one thing, right? But organs are very complex, interconnected layers of tissues. And we can also 3D print those sorts of scaffolds. I don't I'm not sure, because I'm not sure about the history of implementation with that sort of thing as far as like rejection goes. But my understanding is that like we are getting like, I'd say we're not all that far. I wouldn't say we're exactly close, but God, I'd say it's like a within the century thing, especially considering that like how much of our design process is computer laden nowadays, just in all scientific fields, and our computers are surely getting better. Or at least we know that people are very interested in making our computers better over time. So you can assume that, I guess, that'll roughly profit. You'll see that that boost in like a bunch of other fields peripherally as well. So I'd say like for sure, like within the century, maybe within like 3 decades. That doesn't seem like super duper unreasonable technology. I don't know.
Do you want 4 arms or machine arms?
That's a really good question. I'm thinking like, well, I follow like a couple concept artists, and one of them had this octo astronaut on it, and so he was like an intelligent octopus that just wears like a bucket suit that gives him temporarily the body of a normal humanoid man.
I would say fuck that. Do not give octopuses shit because they will kill us.
Yeah.
They will hunt.
Oh no! Yeah, if we give them longer lifespans and the ability to walk on land, we're done.
Yeah, no, we're fucked.
This podcast will become just like a live stream of us hunting the octopus man or running from him. Spider-Man did not talk. We're not trying to replicate that.
Oh yeah, no. Or actually, no. Even better than tentacles would be like beaks. You just because that's I feel like ripping out the beak of a mollusk is really gnarly.
That is fucking gnarly.
But
I'd say the same about dolphins.
Oh yeah. I
feel like
not elephants though. They're nice.
Because that's documented dolphin behavior is just fucking tourists. So
yeah,
might be at least they have an interest in keeping us alive.
That's true. Probably could coexist. Just have the human fuck farms to subsist the dolphin overlords.
But like only sexually, and they still have to do all the work because they don't have it, or we still have to do all the work because they don't have any hands.
Imagine your job being like with 3 other dudes having to hoist an elephant like or fucking dolphin.
There's a monkey
oh yeah, it's slippery.
But how much worse would a dolphin be? like I'm blind, the dolphin sees for me, but I can't the dolphin brings my body to the land, like the Dionysian.
That's a really interesting model for like the evolution of a dominant species. Because if telepathy were totally a thing, you could for sure just find some really dexterous, like dumb animal that you could mind control to do your bidding forever, right? And so I'm imagining you're like trying to hold a dolphin and like ferry it on land, but it's really slippery because dolphins don't know how to be non-slippery, and you drop it and it releases a telekinetic shockwave that kills all of you as punishment, but it's also stranded and dies as well because dolphins are petty like that.
And so there we see no evolutionary mechanism for a death curse. Because the dolphin would need to like reproduce, lay dolphin eggs in the dirt, and have those dolphin eggs resubmerge 100 years later after collecting the soul bond of all those killed on its.
That would be really interesting. Like an intelligent marine species creating a floodplain so they can effectively like annex part of the terrestrial environment.
Oh my god, yeah, all of the eastern seaboard just collapses into the ocean, and they're like, we've claimed New York through Atlanta, Florida.
Hell, I feel like that's something we could do with apes who are worse at I think that's something we could do with apes who are like worse at swimming.
Oh man, I was there's this YouTuber like Seth some shit, and he just makes like he made a review of a game, and he had a bit from Joe Rogan where Joe Rogan is just talking about chimps that like hunt monkeys in the forests.
Oh yeah.
I spent like 20 minutes watching videos of chimps hunting monkeys, and it's like, oh my god.
No, they're like, we're all descended from murderers. If you think you're not related to a murderer, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly. People who are like,
murder's a super advantageous evolutionary strategy.
And I guess I never thought about like what chimps eat, and I think it was also like relegated to like a specific, like I don't know, group
like species
of chimps and like a specific region. But damn, I guess I mean I'd eat a monkey.
Yeah, but yeah, you never want to think about them as eating like Yeah, it's like, because you're like, I think in the back of your head, you're like, they're kind of the same thing, even though chimps are like way smarter than monkeys, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, all the great apes are smarter than monkeys. But
I don't know, like, would you eat a child if you had to?
If I had to. It depends. Like, what's the situation? What's the context? Is it total war? Because then, yeah, I mean, why not? But
You are a chimp, and you need to feed your family of other chimps.
If I'm a chimp, I'll eat anything. I'll eat anything.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, how strong I am as a chimp. As a 220-pound chimp, I would be unstoppable.
Did I ever tell you about how, like, my parents tricked me into eating lamb for the first time by just telling me it was meat? They were just like, it's just meat. It's just meat kebabs. I'm like, what? Okay. You could have tricked me.
They weren't wrong.
You would flash 100% if you were like, it's just meat kebabs. It's just meat kebabs.
Oh no, it's a soil and green situation, surely. Where you're like, hey, dog, where does meat come from? They're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
All kinds of places. We got squirrel. We got rat, we got rabbit.
You're on a spaceship. You're on a spaceship with no animals. Yo, it's like, hey, don't worry about it. It's a random mix of everyone's genetic code.
You see, like, if you purge the content of, like, an apple.
This is not the gray sludge we normally eat.
Yeah.
This meat does not look like it was grown in a lab.
Let's do a quick head count picture.
Where did
I just don't want to. I don't want to eat someone that I do, but that would be interesting.
Yeah, no, I do it.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, if I had
someone you knew, make a stew.
I mean, I've definitely said this before, but like, if I had the opportunity to try human flesh, like, guilt-free, no further implication. Like, if I was in a car accident and had to have my leg amputated, I would definitely keep the leg and just have, like, a barbecue, cut like thin strips and just put up posters like, ever wanted to taste human flesh?
It's
without repercussions.
That's a good question. I think that if I were in a similar situation, yeah, like, I lose a limb, the limb's still largely healthy but not attached to me, that would be fine. I don't know if I could butcher my own leg, though. And I don't know if I feel like I would feel like kind of a bitch if I had someone else butcher my leg for me.
Yeah. Might not have.
I mean, like, serrate it into fillets and cuts.
Like, if I'm imagining that my leg's busted and off of my body, like, it's compound fractured, they had to take it off, and they're like, hey, and I'm like, hey, like, under anesthesia, what are you going to do with my leg? What are you going to do with my leg? And they're like, throw it away. And they're like, give it to me, put it in the bag, give it to me, put it in the bag. And then I have my busted up compound fractured leg in a bag. That's where I'm imagining starting from, and I think that would be traumatizing.
I think you'd have to debone it first, and that would
Yeah, dude, I would. Well, also, I don't know. I feel like I would be more willing if someone was like, hey, Quar, we kept the bone. Like, we kept your femur. It was mostly intact. We still have, like, a good 8 inches of femur. I'd be like, oh, sick. I'm going to make a knife out of my own femur.
That's what I was thinking.
To do that. I'd be than to butcher my leg to eat.
Bro, keep the sinews, make an axe.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Like, I was thinking the other day that, like, I've been really going hard at the shop for, like, the past, like, 3 weeks or something. And I don't have, like, useful, like, I don't have useful fingertips anymore. Like, they're all, I guess, corrupted by epidermal damage from just gripping objects. And I was thinking, like, if I could, I would strip a long strip of my epidermis and make cordage out of it if I really needed to. Yeah, and so I think that, I don't know. I do not know.
For our viewers,
that might be like
cordage, because as viewership, I have no idea what that means, even though I've heard it in context several times now.
Oh, it's just rope that you make from natural, like, it's just like more or less rope, but just from the fiber specifically.
That's fair.
Which would definitely work. And you'd have, like, a cool, like, stripe as well, scarification stripe. like oh, you want to? That was when I was stranded in the Andes and had to make a brace for my leg.
Yeah, I didn't have anything. I couldn't tear my coat
because I didn't have a coat.
I was wrapped in animal pelt, and I used all the pelts I could get. That's all I had.
Okay, so would it be better or worse in terms of, like, serial killer type behaviors to strip skin from animals and leave it alive, or to replace it with your own skin? Just to be like, okay, this guy is psycho in nature. Like,
oh my god, it's like a serial killer, but like you shoot someone in the head and you cut off your pinky and you leave it in the blue.
yeah, but like with a living animal, you know, like you take a rabbit, you're like, I want to make the first real life jackalope, so you like stitch some horns into it, but you're like, I put my soul into this, so I must also like stitch like the thing that holds it, the skin that grafts these horns to its head must be my own.
Well,
you just like take those circles and just like put it around your nipples or some shit.
I guess.
I feel like if you were to take a strip of animal skin and try to replace it, try to put it where like the bleeding rectangle on your arm is. I mean, would that be possible? Like, would you be able to heal animal skin into your own skin? I think not.
I think
probably your body would reject it or some shit.
But like, I'm sure it's feasible.
Clean leather to scab, like I think a clean leather bandage would work, and maybe you could like get some of your body goop to like adhere it to you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you would get a confusion.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be.
That would be
probably
interesting.
Work its way out of your body, like at some point.
Exactly.
Yeah, probably.
Or at least like, I think probably best case scenario, you are looking at just like a subdermal implant of skin.
Yeah.
That's true. That has value, right? Like again, I think it's Kill Bill, right, where they have like the monks with like the boiling pot of water between their arms.
Oh yeah.
I think that's that movie. That could just be fight movie trope.
I'm not remembering Kill Bill beat for beat now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't remember Kill Bill at all, to be honest.
But like, yeah, wouldn't it be sick if
There's like
feel like I don't
right?
feel things because I have a layer of underskin?
There is I think I said this to you, Kellen, but something I think about is just because, like, you know, let's see, he was real old. Let's see, he had tattoos. I wonder how old body mods are. Like, you take a piece of dried bone, carve it into a bunch of lumps, cut a little tuck in your skin, tuck a little bone in there. Yeah. It seems you got good lumps.
I would guess at least as old as like packing wounds, right?
Yeah.
Because
I wonder. Utzi's tattoo, like his tattoos are sort of. I mean, I know they're all like very simple, like they're just like crosses and lines and dots and whatnot. But those still seem like way less precise than the rough idea of like, oh no, I have a gash. Let me take a bunch of wood ash and rub it in it. And I imagine, well, especially because African Americans like form keloid scars more frequently, and that's why I got a bunch of raised scars. But I wonder whether or not the tendency to form raised scars was probably like more prevalent as you go farther back in human time.
That's interesting because like I definitely have some scarring from like tattoos. Like I can feel I can feel both my back and chest tattoo.
Yeah.
Like
that's
in terms of just like tactile sensation, like, apart from my skin. But I know that has to do like to some degree with like the technical ability of your artist. Like like there's some element of that's like them going too deep.
This is the only tattoo that I can like in my ego non baptizo tattoo, I can like very clearly feel the border of the triangle, and I can pretty much feel the first and second lines. Like I can feel almost all four of like.
You're a video.
Here, let's do it. That's here we go. And this is the process. And there we go. I can feel almost like all four of those first three lines, but I can't feel my Batman tattoo really at all.
I can feel the one on my back. Like if I were blind, I think I could draw it for you. Like.
Oh, interesting.
Obviously not with the color, but what I've also noticed is that like my ability to feel it goes up and down with like my what do you call it? My like body fat content.
Heard. So like the more subcutaneous fat, the less you can feel it.
Yeah,
is that how it goes?
More or less, yeah.
Oh, okay. Heard.
I think your camera might be backwards right now, or something.
Yeah, my camera is surely backwards. It's 100% backwards, and here's me.
Oh, it is still backwards.
There we go. That was just the inside of my parts bed. You were looking at about old vape battery, portable battery, breadboard, 100 small switches.
Oh yeah, I have coffee still.
I also. Sippy sip. Kellen, that mug is very small. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, my aunt made this mug. Very nice. What's
that's right.
what's your Potters?
I forgot. That's a very nice mug.
It is very nice. She didn't make a lot like this, so I bought it.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I got these big boy mugs. Okay.
Oh, say what you say again, John?
I got these big boy mugs from a Ollie's bargain outlet.
Nice.
And they make me very happy because they're just like buckets. They're just buckets, and I pour coffee in them, and I have buckets worth of caffeination.
My mom got me this mug for making tea. I used to use it to make tea, and it was a really great time. I have not used it to make tea in a hot second. I would like to return to using it to make tea, but first I have to get a bunch of sticky stuff off the bottom.
Oh, is it like just build-up, or is it from like a sticker that was on it?
Oh, no, it was by Dab
You should.
That, and it might be fine.
Why don't you wash it out with a batch of tea? Swirl it around.
I would, but it's only like it's here and here.
Oh, I see.
The inside's like I think these are tea stains actually. Say that again. Oh no, it's a little ooh.
Oh, okay.
It's a little ooh ooh.
Oh nice.
It's actually these two things are a part of a loose leaf tea steeping kit that my mom sent me here with, which I thought was really tight because I love loose leaf tea. Or I'm trying to get into it actually. I have like this jasmine oolong tea right now that I'm not the most about. For the most part, I'm like a red rose English breakfast sort of dude right now. But I also haven't had tea.
Okay, so this is my working theory about breakfast tea, because I can't drink black tea or green tea in the morning, or on an empty stomach, or I throw the fuck up consistently every time. So my guess is that like the formulation of a breakfast tea is just supposed to like settle your stomach to some degree. Hence its name.
I imagine it's a little gentler. But also, do you drink your tea black?
Yeah.
This is true.
I guess the sugar probably would help like absorption.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say my red rose game is like maybe like, so let's say I have a normal teacup level tea, right? I had maybe like 2 teaspoons of honey, maybe like a couple tablespoons of milk.
Is also big, yeah. Honey, I've heard.
Oh yeah, and you give it a good, right? And you give it throw a little breakfast in there. I think you'd be nice. I
think drinking it with something is for sure a major part.
I've always found like the combination of just water and milk to be just foul. But like I will admit tea with milk is pretty good. It
is. Sorry, y'all know kava, dirt flavor makes your mouth numb. I made a jug full of it, and it curdled.
Oh my god!
And I almost.
How much kava did you give me that one time? It was like a bag of kava that you gave me. Do you remember how much that was?
What?
Because do you remember how much that was? Because I consumed all of it within like 48 hours. I felt like there was like cement in my stomach.
Well, yeah,
for the duration of that.
You're not supposed to eat the powder. You're supposed to like filter it through some sort of mesh.
I tried drinking. Oh, I see.
So you did just eat.
I just put it in a blender.
Yeah, so did I.
I did. Nice.
Wait. Kellen, are you telling me?
I remember like.
Because I think I was. Yeah.
So
no, we were on call for that. You heard me groaning.
Yeah, you were drinking a particulate slurry.
Pretty much. I remember drinking kombucha to like try and raise the pH levels in my stomach so it would digest faster, which like actually did kind of work.
I would say most people don't know what the fuck they're talking about when they say pH of your stomach, but
stomach acid, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, probably it didn't really do anything, but it did help. Yeah, no, I drank dirt.
So yeah, they sell like micronized kava, which is essentially like instant coffee, which just should like dissolve in water or milk, because you have to have
that sounds awful.
Both a fat and because there's like fat and water soluble cavalactones, I guess.
Okay. So
like
here, take this dirt pill and put it in your tea.
Oh, I loved the dirt pills when I
Oh
worked at
yeah,
Giant, because I would just push grocery carts
nice.
in like the blistering cold and be like, my body's warm on the inside. Then I'd also just drink their like ridiculously uh, piss water coffee that is
Oh yeah.
just caffeine. Like it's like just like railing a caffeine pill is
I
literally
honestly,
what it was.
piss water coffee makes me upset because I'm like, I would rather just have the caffeine pill.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because
And
I
then you
think the
put on
only
the
advantage of like nice teas / coffees are you get the active ingredients in addition to like a beverage, like
Oh,
a
I also met the ultimate square there who had never even drank coffee in his entire life. And I was like, never, never.
whoa.
And you're not even like a physicist or anything.
Like, but I'm thinking that with the prevalence of psychoactive substances in modern culture, you might want to. And this is definitely, honestly, this is definitely something in the past where I would have never said. But my thought process is, like, you want to know if you get drugs. That's just that's like off the top of my head. Like, you want to be able to notice like, I guess, what am I trying to say? Like,
Non-endogenous.
non-body natives, like psychological changes or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. And I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, just to know, like, taste a little bit of poison so that you can know what it feels like if you ever are.
Exactly. And also, like I think that unless you're like, I think that like professional fighters who used to be like Greco-Roman style wrestlers and experienced drug users are both really good at riding it out. And whether that is like, I think that like those are both two like sort of extreme circumstances, I guess, because you have like legit psychophysiological change as a result from like an external thing you can't really control once you put it in your body. And I guess another dude who like really wants to mush your fucking face, right? Those are both like two extreme circumstances, but I imagine they they contribute fairly to, I was going to say mental toughness, but I don't know if that's exactly the term for that overarching category.
I would agree. I mean, just sort of like fortitude under duress, I guess, in general. Like, it just makes you more resistant.
This is true.
I guess, on the whole.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think having actuation of like hitting people, killing people, etc.
That's different.
Like it's different. Yeah. No, I guess I'm just trying to parse out like what particular phenomena we're talking about in the context of like a fighter. So like, if you're just sitting in anger or whatever, or like not anger but like motivation and what some may call anger, just like what's going on there, I would say like just taking in like a lot of input data, right? Like smell, sound, sights, to try and like counteract. Like if you're just talking about like competitive sport, like competitive martial art, just like what move is this dude gonna make based on his body movements? But then like also the actuation of bah! Right in the head with my foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot. That's a very complex equation.
That's true. I don't know what the macro phenomena there is.
But in the context of like, I don't know.
Because I do agree that I think that there's like a finer point in there somewhere.
Yeah, because just
I'm not
like the ability to ride it out or just sit in it, I guess is maybe just like knowing like the best thing that I could say to that is just like knowing that you don't want to escalate things to physical violence in the first place, but also knowing that if you go there, ba-da-ba-da-ba.
Oh yeah, so in that same way, like so in that same way that like you can and prefer to operate in like a psychologically normative sort of way, but if altered by external, you can roll away.
You can snap, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. I wonder if
I think that's how I try to be. I think that's just a good way to be in general.
I agree. I don't know. I wonder if there's like a sort of correlate between like knowing when you are too fucked up and should go to a hospital and knowing like, man, I better do something because I'm only getting my ass kicked right now. Because I've definitely been in like Taekwondo sparring matches where like you're like, I'm just trying to figure out what other cat's doing. But like if you try to figure out what other cat's doing for 3 rounds and you've just lost the sparring match, that's all that's happening. I think I might be trying to pull even more disparate concepts together. God, but that's because I haven't eaten today.
No, yeah, that's fair. Neither have I. Just my brekie's been a brine of calf.
Oh yeah.
I think it's definitely like it. Definitely, there are definitely times where you have to spend more time gauging, like what like I guess optimizing your movements. Because I remember like, there were times where I would wrestle up, and it's like this is like a big fat fuck.
Yeah.
So I can like very easily just pull his legs out from under him and pin him, as opposed to like wrestling someone who's in my weight class but like 10 pounds lighter than me. And like trying to throw them and like throwing myself over their body, you know what I mean? But it's like I don't know. So that's something I want to get more into is like sparring and shit. I think we've talked at length about like the most effective disciplines for like CQC, or really just self-defense in general. But like
that's true.
Oh man, judo would be sick as fuck.
Yeah.
The Onion has like this future news article, and they have like a satire where Israel and Palestine are fighting, but there's only one Israeli and one Palestinian left. Like on Earth. And so like I was thinking just like about how poetic that is, that like the first sin of man, or like the first sin of the sun, which is like Cain beating Abel with a rock, like if the world is reduced to ashes and rubble, and you're still fighting after the blast goes off, and you don't just go, oh, we're lucky to be alive, and you're just picking up rubble and going
fair enough.
That would be my point.
And then gotta let it go.
Let me think.
We were at the hour 11 mark, just for any context.
Heard. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think we can wrap it soon?
We can wrap it soon, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think we've covered a myriad of positive topics. I think that we definitely learned a lot about our friend Kellen and his new rock on project, Goodbye Heretic, and the Split album that is happening soonish.
Yeah. Split with Long Way Down from. They haven't specified where, but I think that's because I haven't asked them directly. But they're from Southern East Coast, on Instagram, and Posthumous from Wisconsin, also on Instagram. And then my friend Jesse, he has his projects, Goodbye Heretic, who he plays guitar in. We co-write everything, which is great. I didn't think I would meet someone that I worked so well with so soon, but I did, and it's going pretty fucking well. He also has his projects, Worm Hero and Forget Our Names. They've changed to Forget, which is apropos. But yeah, check all those projects out. And I should have another. Well, yeah, there will be stuff coming out soon, and I'll make sure to update for all.
And we will plug it when it happens.
Hell yeah!
Thank you for your contribution today. This is
really
for sure. It's a good time talking about. I think that was a good ending as well. Like, I would just walk away.
Paradise. Check out all Kellen's stuff.
Yeah. I'm not great at plugging myself. Victim Soul and Goodbye Heretic. That's all you need to. Yeah. on Instagram. Yeah.
Any plugs before we dip, Quar?
Open Mike Eagle just released a new album that's I'm pretty good about. I'd say check it out. I don't know. I've been making projects, but like yeah. Okay.
And OMD on Instagram, Auto Modified Death, is a great collective of people, and I worked with several of them for my multi-genre debut EP, which there will be a second installment of very soon.